Do me for hold this L.
Hold this L.
Hold this L.
Welcome to another episode of Hold This L with your host Lonnie and Cappel. What's going on today, man? What's good with you?
Oh, not too much, bro. Been chilling out, watching these playoffs. We got something coming up in a couple of weeks. Excited for that.
Go
That's
ahead and
all I've
tell the
been thinking
people. Let's
about.
go ahead and tell them.
Well, for all the people, I was being a little silent, but no, we going to Mexico in a couple of weeks. It's gonna be exciting. We're gonna have a good time, man. Got a lot of good stuff planned, so I'm geared up, ready for that. Watching these playoffs,
Yeah, much needed vacation. Much needed vacation.
definitely.
But yeah, I'm excited too, man. Just outside of that, just relaxing. Just cooked me a nice meal prep, some dirty rice, some catfish. It's funny though, cause I cook dirty rice, and I do low carb, so I didn't do rice. I did it's called shirataki noodles. It's noodles, right? But
Hmm.
they cut them up into little pieces like it's rice or whatever. And so I had it for the first time a while ago. My wife, she cooks them all the time, and they really good. Like they just take on the flavor of whatever you put them in. Like just what I mean,
Okay.
it's one of those type foods. But the good thing about it is they like a whole bag. The bag is about like this big. So it's not huge, but just like noodles, they're like they kind of swell once you start to cook them. And the whole bag is 70 calories, zero carbs.
Wow.
Exactly. And so, anyways, so I cooked the dirty rice, and I used the noodles, but they cut up like I said, they rice or whatever. So I haven't tasted it yet. I know the dirty rice part tastes good, like the mixture and everything, because I
Hmm.
use it all the time. But with the actual shirataki noodles as a rice substitute, I haven't tasted that yet. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, got that going, ready to get my week started. Got basketball going. Baseball is in full effect. I know we don't talk about baseball in the show. It's funny because the viewers don't know that me and you avid baseball fans. Played baseball since we was little, all the way through high school. Well, me through high school, but you still played while you
Mid
was in
high
high
school.
school. Yeah,
Yeah.
mid high school. So, and we avid baseball fans. We know all about the sport. It's just not that show where we really touch on baseball too much. We'll give some major issues, like we'll talk about some major stuff, but just general baseball, we're not really that on that show. But we are huge baseball fans. But outside of that, we even bigger basketball fans, and that's what we're about to jump into right now. These playoffs. Give me your opinion on what's going on with these playoffs, man. Just in general, like what you thinking.
I actually been surprised by a few things, a couple, and it's been a few things I've been surprised about, a few things that are going exactly how I expected them to. Um, I can clearly see that LeBron being out of the playoffs makes a big difference. Um,
Yeah.
and you can just see, I try to think about, bro, everybody always giving LeBron a hard time, blowing on LeBron, this and that, and rightfully so. Sometimes, he deserves it. Sometimes
Yeah.
he ain't perfect. He do some dumb stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm just watching these playoffs. Like I hear everybody talking about, it's wide open now. LeBron's not here anymore. Anybody can win, and this and that. I'm like, do y'all realize the greatness of this man? No team felt like they really had a shot as long as he was in it. Like,
Mhm.
like it's like it's LeBron, So,
Yeah.
bruh, it just blows my mind. But I also want to give a big shout out. As much as I don't like Brooklyn, I'm not really a big Brooklyn fan, but I am an individual fan of the players: KD,
Yeah.
Kyrie, James Harden. I'm a big fan of them each individually, but watching what they're doing without Harden in Milwaukee, you gotta get them boys some love, because if I don't care what nobody say, if KD and Kyrie, let's say James Harden don't come back and they still win it, it's a big two. Nobody's gonna sit here. You can't devalue it. You really can't. If they can do it without James Harden, and it's kind of because it's KD, Kyrie, and we know who the rest. The third best player you would argue is Joe Harris. So with that being said, if they could win it with that being said, that would be a lot more impressive to me. I'm a little bit down on Milwaukee though. Thought Milwaukee would give them a better challenge. And even though they won this last game, I still felt like um, man, you know what I just realized, bro, in the middle of talking?
What?
My pick just changed. I'm gonna tell you about it later.
We get
But
to that later. Yeah, we
yeah,
get to
I
that
know,
at
but
the yeah.
but it literally just changed. It literally
Mm,
just changed.
yeah.
But no, Philadelphia look good. I'm very impressed with Joel Embiid. You know, with him having that torn meniscus, um, and playing the way he playing, I didn't even give him a
Well,
shot to
hold
come
up,
back
hold
looking
up.
like that.
You going through all the playoffs. I just wanted you to give your
No,
overall
I'm
opinion.
just giving you my surprises and stuff. I still got some
Oh.
stuff I want to talk about as far as the games go. I'm just telling
Yeah.
you the people. This is more about the individual people, and just
Okay.
how impressed I am with how the teams are performing. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't expect Philadelphia to look like this. That's more or less what I'm talking about because I thought Joel Embiid was hurt. I'm very impressed with them. Very impressed with Brooklyn. Everything else, them two, very impressed. I'm surprised. Everything else in the playoffs is going exactly how I expected it to.
For sure.
Maybe not
Eh,
Phoenix being up 3-0.
Yeah, and that was what I was gonna say. The only surprise for me is it's two surprises. The Phoenix being up 3-0. I did not think that they was gonna own the Nuggets the way that they have. But when I really started to like think back, I was like, you know what? The Nuggets played the Grizzlies. And the reason why that would end up being a good series, well, no, they didn't play the Grizzlies. The Nuggets played Portland, and yeah. So them beating Portland did make me think that Phoenix was going to be a better series because Phoenix is Portland is really good. They were at full strength. They had everybody. So I am surprised at Phoenix going 3-0. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like Phoenix was like you remember the Atlanta Hawks years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a little more, a little less. I'm not sure. When they like had the best record of the league, it was the year that
Oh yeah.
the I think the Warriors won their first championship. And even though they had a great season, nobody really looked at them and said they're gonna win it. And I kind of looked at Phoenix like that, like, oh, they got a great season, but when you start to have these playoff games, the better teams are gonna come through. I don't feel like that no more. I feel like Phoenix is bona fide. I feel like Phoenix is a legit team that could get to the finals. Um, but I'm kind of surprised that they really just handling the Nuggets the way they handle them. But my surprise on the Eastern Conference side is I'm not surprised that Brooklyn is playing like they are. Brooklyn has always put up points. They've played most of this year without the big three, and they've put up points like this against Milwaukee. What I'm surprised is that Milwaukee is not putting up points and scoring with them. That's my surprise, how bad Milwaukee's playing. I did not think that Milwaukee was going to play the best. Now, I will say this. I'm not going to give the Brooklyn Nets props yet because Brooklyn did what they're supposed to do. People forget this is about a game of trying to steal one at the other team's spot. Brooklyn was a home team. They won their first two games. Milwaukee won their first game at home. If they win their next game at home, we back to a 0-0 game. And all it's going to take is for Milwaukee to step up and win one in Brooklyn for it to now go to Milwaukee side. So once because they play today, once they if Milwaukee wins today, then I'll be like, okay, this series is what I thought it was. But if Brooklyn wins today, then I'm like, okay, Milwaukee, you done. So I'll reserve my comments to next week to see what Milwaukee does with the rest of these games. But but yeah, those are my two surprises. Really, like the lack of competitive spirit so far with Brooklyn in those first two games, and Denver just like letting Phoenix take control of them. With that being said, let's go ahead and kind of jump into these games. We got four games. We got two today. Today is officially Sunday, even though we release on Monday. So that's why when I say today, I'm talking about these games on Sunday. Phoenix and um, and the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets. Excuse me. I think the Nuggets are probably gonna win this one. I just can't see them getting swept. I think it's gonna go five. It's gonna be a gentleman's sweep. Would I be surprised if Phoenix go ahead and win this one and sweep them? No, I would not. But I think it's a lot to say by the team that says we're not playing well, but we're not gonna get swept, and they come through and they give their all and put everything out on the table. And I feel like that's what's gonna happen with Denver today. They're gonna come out, they're gonna end up playing really well, and they're gonna go ahead and get this to 3-1. And then of course in a few days the Phoenix Suns are gonna end it. What's your thoughts on this series?
It's over with.
Yeah.
After I saw last game, and I didn't watch it, but I saw the score, and it was not close. Nikolai Jokic had 32, 20,
Mm-hmm.
and 10. and
Hmm.
they got lambasted. They just don't have enough.
They
You know,
don't.
they
Michael
they
Porter Michael Porter Jr. has to be a consistent 25 to 30 point score for them to be competitive.
well, that's why I say what I say because I don't think he's 100% because he was questionable last game. So
Yeah.
I don't think he's 100%. And not having him 100% because, like you said, he has to give him 25, 30. And if he ain't 100%, he's not going to do it. He
Yeah.
can't,
Yeah.
and I think that's a big issue. I mean, it's showing in the way he's shooting. The last couple of games, he's not 100%. And it makes sense to me. But no, I don't think they can do anything
Yeah.
with
I think
Phoenix.
what
I really don't.
I think what people underestimate about Phoenix is they bench. Campaign coming off that bench keeps the scoring going. He comes off that bench and he facilitates like he just comes right behind Chris Paul and continues facilitation. He scores, he assists, he rebounds, plays really well off the bench. Yes, campaign. Then you got Cam Johnson coming off playing hard. You got Sark coming off who got an outside shot but can play in the paint. They got a really good bench that comes in and puts points. This is the reason why that score stayed the way it stayed,
Hmm.
because the team we usually talk about having a deep bench is the Nuggets. But they
Right.
don't have a deep bench because they've had to put some of those people in as starters. Austin Rivers is one of those bench people that would help the second unit. Composer was one of those bench people that would help the second unit. Monte Morris is coming off the bench, uh, and having Will Barton does help. But this is second game back, and it takes a while to get acclimated. When you've been out for so long with an injury, even though you've been an integral part of the team. Of course, Jamal Murray, the obvious one that's missing.
Hmm.
And like we said, Michael Porter Jr. has to be. Michael Porter Jr. is a good shooter, but he has to step it up a notch, and he has to do that consistently.
Hmm.
Jamal Murray in the playoffs became a superstar, and Michael Porter is not replacing that.
Right.
He's having a good game here, then he's having an average game, then a good game here, then an average game. But he's just not that player yet, anyways. But it's over. Devin Booker, man, that's all I gotta say. That boy is crazy.
Him
Chris
and Chris
Paul,
Paul been killing it, man. I
I
mean,
know,
Chris Paul got 33 assists and 3 turnovers in this series. I
I
mean, it's
know.
just
Chris Paul on a mission. I know I picked Philly, and that's still my pick. But I would be happy as hell if Phoenix somehow pulled out a championship for Chris Paul. I would be happy. I still don't think they're gonna do it, to be
they not.
completely honest.
I don't think
But
so either.
I would be ecstatic if Chris Paul won a championship. Um, but yeah, that's all I pretty much got for that. It's over. Suns, and for me, Suns in five. I know I can't remember what we said earlier. I think I went with the Nuggets. To be honest, I can't remember. I can't remember for sure. I have to go back and and listen to the tape. But what I do remember is I didn't say no 4 or 5 game series for this
Right.
matchup. It
Right.
was at least six, probably seven, but definitely at least six. I did not think it was gonna go this way. Um, then we got the Clippers and why my man went blank. The
Oh,
Clippers and
excuse me, Utah.
Utah. Now I know who I chose with that one. I chose Utah, and I'm still choosing Utah. The Clippers, they came through, did what they were supposed to do, win a game at home. Congrats to them. They won it very convincingly last night. I'm still not convinced that they're gonna win this series. Um, I still like Utah for all the reasons that I said before. They're actually coming to fruition. Um, all these shooters that they played without Conley for 2 games. Yesterday, really missed his defense and
Hmm.
his ability to facilitate and score. But the game before, they missed. He didn't play, and they played well. Um,
I don't
I
think
just
he's played any of them, has he?
I can't remember if he played the first
I
game or
don't
not.
think. No, he didn't play game one either. Donovan
Um,
had what 45.
I know Donovan Mitchell killed it, um, but I can't remember if Conley played at all. I can check real quick because I'm sitting up here looking at the stats. Um, Conley, nah, he didn't. You're
Yeah, I'm
right.
almost positive he hadn't played this series.
So, and for them to be up 2-1 and Conley didn't play, that's huge for me. I don't know the severity of his injury. I know that he's been a game time decision every game, and then he's been ruled out. So that lets me believe that he's close.
It's those hamstrings,
Um,
man.
I know. But I still like Utah. What's your take on this series?
I'm still with Utah all the way. The only concern that I do have, if any, is Donovan Mitchell's come up hobbling the last two games. Both games he said he's fine, but he's not. The ankle is still, and he even made the comment that it bothers him when he lands. Well, anybody who knows anything about Donovan Mitchell, I mean, they call him Spider. He likes to jump. um, and everything in basketball is about landing. When you shoot, you got to land. You dunk, you got to land. You go up for a rebound, you got to land. I mean, just about everything you're doing has some type of landing involved in it. So, I mean, with that being said, I need to watch the next game for sure to see how he looks because he's saying he's fine. I mean, he still put up 30 last night and he didn't play the last 7 minutes because the game was kind of out of reach and they didn't want to,
Yeah,
there's no reason to put him back in. Um, but if Donovan Mitchell is healthy, the Clippers won't win this series. If
yeah,
Donovan Mitchell is not healthy, the Clippers will come back and win this steal the series. But
yeah,
they need Donovan Mitchell. He has to be healthy.
yeah. I agree. Donovan Mitchell is what makes the Utah Jazz, as good as they are. He got a lot of pieces around him. Now
Hmm.
Mike Conley is more than a piece. He's not a role player. You don't look at him as a role player, but he's out. So if Donovan Mitchell's not healthy and Mike Conley continues to be out, then Utah don't have a chance. They
Right.
got a lot of good role players that do their job, but they still need that star talent. And Mike Conley is like borderline star talentish. He don't get to shine, but his game says that he's starish. Outside of his injuries, I believe if Mike Conley wasn't injured as much, we people would look at him totally different. He just
Right.
misses too many games, and Donovan Mitchell's a superstar as far as I'm concerned.
Though I think that's as far
Forget
as
the star.
everybody
He a
concerned.
superstar.
Yeah, everybody.
Because
Nobody
I
will
mean,
argue that.
and it's funny the person that they compare him to the most, D Wade, same thing. Injuries because of how he plays. They slashers. They drive it. They jump, and they because they so aggressive and they're not big guys. You know, um, they strong, but they're not like big. So they get
Right.
hit hard when they go to the. They land awkward. They hit the floor a lot. So yeah, I mean if Donovan Mitchell's not healthy, this is it's not good for Utah. But I still got Utah. I got Utah at
Me
six,
too.
man. I feel like they're gonna win this game against Clippers. This next game against Clippers and go up 3-1, and then they're gonna go home maybe and lose, and then win it in LA for the sixth game. So that's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. But next game, Philly and Atlanta. So you go ahead and talk about Philly and Atlanta. I'm gonna let you talk first.
I was a little worried about Philadelphia after game one. Seeing what Embiid came out, he killed it. I mean, he had his career high until the next game. But I was like, man, maybe the Hawks may be able to pull this off. Well, Doc Rivers made an adjustment. Kudos to Doc Rivers in Philadelphia. He wised up real quick and said, I'm tripping trying to get Danny Green to guard Trey Young. Ben, we're gonna need you to take that over because uh, we need you to stop him, slow him down, do something with him. And he's done the job. So now with the adjustment they made, I don't think Atlanta don't have a chance. They may get another one, but I'll be surprised if they get another one. If this go more than five, I'll be very surprised.
I wasn't worried about Philly at all. Me and you didn't talk about it, but one of my coworkers asked me. This was when the Hawks were up 1-0, and my coworker asked me, said, "So what'd you think about Philadelphia?" I said, the Philly Atlanta game. I mean, series. I said Atlanta had their chance. They I mean not their chance, but they had their run. They had their good game. I said it's a wrap. I said this game gonna be a blowout. I think me and you talked too, and I told you that this next game was gonna be a blowout, and that was game two, and it was the score was 102 to 118. It was actually a bigger lead than that, and Atlanta closed the gap a little bit towards the end, I think. But and in this last game in Atlanta, 127 111, I was never worried because I know what kind of team Atlanta is. They're a good team, but they're not a number four seed. What you think number four seed or number five seed? Like they tied with New York Knicks, so they both 4 and 5. They're playing in the East. The East is weak. They have three top heavy teams, really top heavy teams: Milwaukee, Philly, and Brooklyn. But everything after that is weak as hell. So Atlanta's record is a result of the conference that they play in. They're
Mm-hmm.
not a bad team, but in the West, would they be in the playoffs? Let's really digest that. In the West, would they be in the playoffs? Are they better than Memphis? They may be right there with Memphis. I can't say they're better or not, but that's the only team that they would have a leg on over, or being leg up on in the West. Just being completely real, So I knew that I didn't worry about them at all. On Philly, I didn't worry about Philly at all, and it's come to fruition. Based pretty much what I said. They didn't just win these games; they annihilated Atlanta in these
Yeah,
games.
well, the thing
You
is, I
know,
wasn't worried about Philly. I was worried about Embiid.
I feel you. Yeah, and I
That's what I
think
was
that's what
worried
I
about.
think that's what most of the worry was for everybody else.
And
Yeah,
now you look at him now, I'm like, okay, because you saw that first game and he put up 39, I think. And I'm like, okay, let's see how he responds this second game,
yeah.
with that knee and stuff like that. Well, he come up the second game, put up 40. I'm like, okay, that knee ain't bothering him. Not like we think.
Mhm.
Oh, he good. He good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, Philly, Philly gonna be the team. I think that's gonna have to give Brooklyn a run for their money.
Yeah.
They're the only ones I think with the talent to be able to do it.
Yeah, I don't know yet, man. I'm still I'm not 100% convinced that Milwaukee can't get this right.
If Drew
And
Holiday ain't putting up 20, 25 points, they're not gonna beat Brooklyn.
we'll see if Chris Middleton can be consistent with what he did last game. They're going to be competitive, and they could
Hmm.
they could they could possibly win with Harden out. If Harden is able to come back, still don't know what his status is. I'm pretty sure that it's not looking good, or it's not. He won't be back. But with Harden out, they can beat them if Middleton plays the way he played. Middleton put up some big points last game.
Yeah, but my problem with that is him and Giannis put up 68 points and they only had 87. That's a problem for me. They
I
put up
mean,
68 points together and they had, well, matter of fact, they had 86.
you're right. I agree. Brooklyn's not going to shoot that bad again. And that's why I say I'm because they was able to squeeze that win out. Let's see if they wake up. Let's see if that win motivates them. Let's see if they get going. We've seen Milwaukee put up big points all this season. We've seen them put up big points against Brooklyn in the regular season. So is this nerves? Is Brooklyn playing lights out D? I don't see lights out D when I watch
No,
this
they playing
game.
Giannis different, which they
Exactly.
do in the regular season. They making him a jump shooter and he can't hit no jump shots. That's the
Exactly.
problem.
So it's really going to come down to coaching. How are you going to change this up? Are you going to use Drew Holiday the way that you should use him? Are you going to make Giannis play a different way? Put him down low. Remember, this used to be an issue with LeBron. This used to be an issue with
Hmm.
LeBron where before he got his jump shot, that they would just play him like that. And what did LeBron do? He learned how to play with his back to the basket. He started
Yeah,
playing down low,
he was a better passer
and
than Giannis. That's
well,
another. That's another one of the problems.
he was a better passer than Giannis. I give you that, but he still has to be down low. He has to start posting up down low. He can't just think he can get the ball at the top of the key and bully his way to the basket. You got to let Drew Holiday do what he does. He is a
I agree.
facilitator. He's a
I
point
agree.
guard. He can create. Let him run the offense. That's why you brought him there. You got rid of Bledsoe because Bledsoe was not truly a facilitator.
Hmm.
Bledsoe was more of a shooting guard, had playing the point. You got a true point guard there. Let him run the point.
Well, that's my problem because there's too many times I'm watching them and he's standing in the corner. Like you can't do that with Drew. He too good to be standing in the corner and don't touch the ball for six
Mm-hmm.
straight possessions. Like I watched it, bro. He had 10 shots. I know for sure he had 10. I just want to tell you real quick the shot output of them three. Because in my opinion, I don't think anybody would disagree with me that when it comes to Milwaukee, Milwaukee has a big three. Wouldn't you agree with that? You would consider them to have a big three. When you have
I,
a
I
big three,
don't
you
I don't I don't consider. We can talk about that in a second, but I know
yeah,
why you
but
saying that. I know why you saying
just
that.
my thing is, I see Giannis with 31 shots, 14 of 31, one of eight from three. Chris Middleton, 12 of 25. Now keep in mind, Giannis had 33 points. He had 31 shots. Middleton had 35 points. He had 25 shots. That's not bad. Drew Holiday only had 14 field goals. They're doubling his field goals. Like, I don't understand why he's only shooting the ball.
This is a coaching thing. You
Yeah,
you you had this is a coaching thing, and you
Giannis.
said that before.
Yeah, I don't think Giannis. I think Giannis need to. I think he taking too many shots, bro. I mean, and he took eight threes.
It's for me. It's not the too many shots. It's the quality of the shots you take. If he
Yeah,
took that many shots, but they were high quality shots, think about the like Giannis is a big man who has some additional who has other skill or other skill sets. He
yeah,
can handle the ball. His handles ain't like superstar handles, but he can handle the ball good enough to create his own shot and get to the basket. So that makes him versatile. But he's relying too much on that part of his game, and he should be relying on other parts of his game. Your game should change depending on the team that you're playing against. So if think about players like Aiton, who's the same height as Giannis, players like Drummond, same height as Giannis. When they get 20 shots a game, they have some of the highest field goal percentages in the league.
exactly.
Why? Because of the type of shots they get. So Giannis taking 20 points, 20 shots, no problem if those shots are mostly in the perimeter or under the basket. But if he's taking 20 shots and 8 of them are threes, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And of course,
And
that is exactly what's happening.
exactly. And the thing is, how do you, Giannis, you a 20%, if that, 3-point shooter. How are you shooting Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton combined for 10 3-point attempts? You shot 8 by yourself. And you're probably the worst 3-point shooter on the team. Not I
Not
mean, on
probably.
literally, you're the
No, I know
worst
what you
shooter on
mean.
the team.
Yeah. Brooke
Why are
Lopez
you
is a better
shooting?
shooter than you. PJ Tucker is a
Exactly.
better shooter than you.
Not even
Yes.
close. Why are you shooting 8 threes? That's the problem I have with Milwaukee right now. You're not utilizing the team to their best abilities. There's no reason Giannis should be shooting 8 threes and Drew Holiday shooting 4.
Hmm.
That makes absolutely no sense to me, and that's why I don't feel like Milwaukee is giving them the challenge that Philadelphia will, because Philadelphia's got Doc Rivers. You're
Yeah.
gonna see the differences they end up going up against each other, and the difference in coaching him versus Steve Nash in his first years, because Steve Nash don't really know what he's doing either.
It don't look
We
like it.
Yeah,
No,
I'm gonna
it
get to
don't.
that in a little bit, but with that being said, the coaching makes a difference, and right now, as terrible as I'm looking at Steve Nash, like he basically ain't coaching, and he's still out coaching Milwaukee's head coach. So I mean, it's crazy to me.
Yeah. And on that note, going to the Nets, I don't really have a lot to say about the Nets. They don't look no different than they looked in the regular season.
They
They
doing
look
their thing,
exactly
bro.
the same. It's like you won't see how good the Nets are until they come up against a wall.
Hmm.
And will they come up against a wall in these playoffs? We'll see. I mean, everybody believe, a lot of people believe that because their ability to score and because Kevin Durant and Kyrie are so unguardable that they're gonna be able to pretty much beat anybody left in the playoffs with no issues. I don't believe that. I believe that we got a couple of teams that can give them issues. Utah is definitely one of them if they get to the finals. But we even not talk about the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals. Philadelphia is definitely one of those teams that plays defense and give them some issues and make them have to make some adjustments. You know,
Oh, I agree.
um, so and Milwaukee, I thought was one of those teams. I'm still waiting to reserve my complete judgment after this next game, but they are one of those teams that has good defensive efficiency, but they just haven't really shown it outside of last game. To me, last game they didn't really show it. I think they played hard, but I think the last game was more of a result of Kyrie and Kevin Durant just not hitting shots. You know,
Exactly. And the thing
so
is, for anybody, the only thing I will say about Brooklyn, if anybody had a question, if Kevin Durant's back, he's freaking back.
Kevin Durant been back. He's been
But
back way
but no,
before.
but you
Yeah,
know what I mean. Like
yeah,
consistently playing the KD we knew a couple of years ago before the Achilles. He's still the same KD. Actually, he looks even better to me. He looked like
yeah,
he's moving no different. He actually looks better.
yeah. I reserve the same comments about KD that I have for Kobe. And they by no means are Katie and Kobe the same person. That is not what the hell I'm saying. Not at
Hey,
all.
don't you dare.
But what I used to say about Kobe is I thought Kobe was phenomenal. I thought Kobe deserved the accolades that he got. But for me personally, he went up a notch in my book when he won those other two championships
Hmm.
without Shaq. And KD, and the thing is Kobe was the part of the reason, a major part of the reason that he won those championships with Shaq. So that's why I gave him props. I don't even give Kevin Durant a lot of props for those championships he got. I mean, he won them. He won the the MVP of the finals. He won them, but I don't really look at him like, oh, okay, he got two titles, and he here and here. Nah, forget that because I feel like his move was weak. Whatever. But if he wins a championship with this team, he goes up in my book because that's like overcoming. That's like growing, maturing in
Hmm.
your in your field and your craft or whatever. I don't keep the same judgment about a player just because I'm biased. My judgment is based on your portfolio and what you've done. And for me, he hasn't done anything but go to a team that was ready made for a championship. Him being one of the top three people in the world in basketball, going to a team that was like that could win without him and just making them unbeatable. So I don't give him a lot of props for that. But if he wins this championship, especially with no Harden, I mean, I definitely look at him differently.
He'll
So,
deserve it.
and he would have went through a Bucks team, a Philadelphia 76ers team, and whatever team makes it out of the West, which is going to be a formidable team. That's saying a lot. So, that's what I meant by the comparison to Kobe. It's not a true comparison, but I'm talking about simply you go up a notch in my book based off of your career because you made this achievement. Um, I got to make sure I say that because I don't want nobody coming for me talking about you comparing Kobe and KD. There's no comparison. You're right. It's not. It's in general. I'm talking about the going up a notch. Specifically, what I'm talking about, people. Okay,
He was already up there before them championships, but hey,
he was, but
that's in
but I'm
my
saying
book.
he know what I'm exactly. No, but you can't tell me that he didn't go up a notch when he won those other two.
You and I both know I was biased. I mean, yeah, he did to everybody else. He was already
Okay.
up there for me. I
Well,
couldn't put him no
I feel
higher.
that. I feel that. I mean, you right because I'm like that with LeBron. Like he already at the top. If he
Yeah,
win more
like
championships, then that's great. But it ain't gonna change how. So I feel you. You right. You right. You right. I agree with that. I agree with that. Um, and speaking of LeBron, I know you made your statements about LeBron not being in the playoffs, and I wanted to come back and say something about that, but I forgot. But what I wanted to say is, like, I don't know about for you, but even though I'm following the playoffs, it's not as exciting with LeBron out of the playoffs. And for me, that's probably because I'm a fan of LeBron, and I know for you, you're a fan of the Lakers. So, but I don't think people realize the impact that he has on the game because what would people be talking about right now if LeBron was still in the game in the playoffs? It would still
LeBron.
be big news on about LeBron, and it would be his haters on one side or people who don't like his game on one side. Let me not say haters because people get so offended when you use the word haters. And then you have people who do like his game. And then you got the Lakers fans, because there's a lot of Lakers fans that shit on LeBron. And then when he came to the team, they were glad that he was there because they know he's a winner. So now they still Lakers fans. They don't like praise LeBron, but they Lakers fans. So you got like three categories of people, and all three of those people are gone in conversation from the playoffs. So it's major. Like it took a major hit. So like you said, you gotta appreciate this guy. You gotta appreciate him while he's here because when he leaves, he's gonna take a lot of fans with him.
Hmm.
Like I'm a fan. I'm a fan and I watch basketball and I follow it, but I follow I follow something more when I have like a real desire for it. And with LeBron playing, it's a lot of intrigue there for me. When he's not playing, I'm more of a I just check it out on ESPN Gamecast. I just see what the but when he's playing, I'm like watching the game. You know,
Right.
I'm watching other games to see what other people gonna do, who gonna play who. So people keep that in mind. These some people are more valuable to sports than we think, even if you like them or not. Um, but
Yeah,
anyways,
I think the only positive that comes out of it is you don't know for sure who gonna win it
you're right. You
because
know,
as long as he's in it, everybody's like, It's LeBron. LeBron's in it. No,
yeah,
nobody's.
you
You
got
got to get past
people
LeBron. You got to get
exactly.
past LeBron.
You
So
got people
without that,
following. Yeah, you got people following because they want them to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like one of those things where you get what you want. He lost, and you like, oh, I don't have anything to talk about now. I don't have anything to do now. Oh, the playoffs not as interesting. I don't want to see Utah play. I don't want to see Phoenix play. I don't want to see Denver play. You know, you watch LeBron with Cleveland. You don't want to see Cleveland play, but you watched when LeBron was there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, just putting things in the proper perspective. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But anyways, so who holding this L for you this week, man?
Man, initially I had a good one. I was gonna give it to all the people who actually spent their money, their hard earned money, and paid for that Aaron Carter Lamar Odom fight. They were all gonna get it, but decided there's somebody that deserves it even more. Bruce Brown. Hey, bro.
I don't know about this. This is new to me.
Oh, you don't realize. Oh, so you're not aware why the Nets probably lost last game.
Uh-uh.
Guess who decided to take the two final shots? They got two shots at it.
Mm-hmm.
He never even passed it. He tried to score twice. He took it to the basket both times. One time he threw it off the backboard so horrible, like it was a layup. It was like he almost airballed it. Like, what the hell are you doing? He gets the ball again for the last. They get one more shot to tie the game, or no, to take the lead. I think they were up. They were only losing by one. Guess who decides they're going to take it into their hands to try to score and do it again? Bruce Brown. I guess he forgot he had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on his team. Because he didn't even look at him, bro. He didn't even give him a thought. He drove to the basket like he was the man. And he looked horrible doing it. And not only did you miss the first one terribly, the second one, it was a little floater. He front rimmed it. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. And I don't think nobody on the planet, including KD and Kyrie, knew what the hell he was thinking. Like, I'm okay. Bro, do you not know you got Kevin Durant? And even if Kevin Durant don't take the last shot, there's only one other person on that team, Bruce Brown, who should be taking that final shot. And it ain't you. So I just got to say, bro, you get a chance, you need to go find the comments, bro. You were not on ESPN yesterday because he got lit up.
Yeah.
Bruce Brown, you got to hold this hell, man. Pull yourself together.
Bruce Brown should never take anybody's last shot.
But not only did he take it once, he took it twice.
He shouldn't take the last shot unless the star kicks it to him to catch and shoot. That's the only way he takes the last shot. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Bro, he took the inbounds pass and went straight to the goal.
Yeah. I have to say this. I don't really. Well, I'm talking about my L that I'm holding. I don't really want to give this L to this person because I respect him. I feel like his decision is lame for why he won't participate in being a candidate for this particular job, and his public response was lame. But I got to get his L to Jason Kidd. Got to. Dame Lillard came out and endorsed this man, like all superstars do, one way or the other. Maybe not just so blatantly public like Dame did, but in some way or another, superstar endorsed the coaches that they like, a coach that they want. And Jason Kidd came out and made the comment that he's taking himself out of the runnings for this position because of that comment, because that was said. Now, I can't quote you on exactly what he said, but I think it's a bunch of bullshit. We all know Jason Kidd wants the Lakers job. We all believe that Frank Vogel's on borrowed time and that Jason Kidd is without a doubt the next coach of the Los Angeles Lakers when Frank Vogel leaves. We've seen this guy, what was his name? Blade, whatever his name was for Cavaliers. He went to the finals with LeBron. And they still fired his ass the next year. So we can't act like because we know that the Lakers are a great team that their coach not going to get let go. We saw it happen. So I'm a firm believer that Jason Kidd knows that it's very possible that Frank Vogel could be getting his ass up out of there, especially if things don't start right at the beginning of next year. Getting bounced in the first round, his coaching snafus because he did a lot of things wrong. Even though
Mm-hmm.
AD was out, he made some big mistakes with player personnel, minutes, switching things up, made it look like he didn't know how to coach, to be completely honest. And if the year don't start off good, if things are not looking right, whether AD hurt or not, or LeBron hurt or not, if his team is not looking right, if they don't get good free agents this year for some reason, Frank Vogel's going to be on the hot seat. And if he gets fired, Jason Kidd will be the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. So I say all this to say, Jason Kidd, just say it with your chest. Just say I'm not interested in the job. Don't be blaming Dame comments for why you withdrew from the position, man. Come on now. Ain't nobody buying that shit. Hold this L, Jason Kidd. I love you, man. I think you're one of the greatest point guards ever. I think you're a great coach, and I want you to be the coach of the Lakers. But that was lame, dude. That was a lame one. You gotta hold this L, Jason Kidd.
Definitely. And just to end on this, Michael Rappaport, we didn't forget about you. Just wanted to put that out there.
Alrighty. Well, that's all we got for y'all today. Please continue to like, subscribe, send our podcast to your friends and family. We do appreciate all listeners. And this is Hold This L. I'm Cappel.
And I'm Lonnie.
And we out.
Peace.
Deuces.